Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of entitled Parents. So this happened today. I work as security, and the building we are working at has a kindergarten on the other side. You could walk through the main entrance and leave through the back entrance, but you're only allowed to go through the building if you work for the company. Also, you can only enter the building when you have an access card to open the doors. We had one EP today that wanted to go through because it was the short way and she didn't have time to go around the building, which would only take like 5 minutes at max. After arguing with her over 30 minutes, she left and went around. So she wasted 30 minutes more in arguing with us than to take the 5-minute walk around the building. Why yes, let me cut through your private corporate building because I want to take a shortcut to take my child to kindergarten. Okay. This happened a bit less than a year ago when I was selling bikes in a third-party shop-in-shop at a supermarket. The shop was located at an aisle next to the sports stuff, no door or anything, just a sign like bike shop, and the products were checked out at registers of the store. I was the only employee of the shop, and similar shops of the company were spread out in different stores of the store chain. The job was a 3-month thing for the summer, after which I landed a job as an employee of the supermarket. I had my fair share of unreasonable people, especially EPs and EKs, who wanted things that we either didn't sell, things that had no relation to bikes, or wanted special privileges. But this one takes the cake. It's about 40-ish minutes before my shift ends, and an entitled mom walks in with her about 6 or 7-year-old devil spawn entitled kid. EM walks to me while I was helping another customer, who is an angel, later on, and taps me on the shoulder. Without giving me time to react properly, even by saying hi or anything, she blank out tells me something along the lines of, "My kid needs a new bike." I tell her ever so politely that I have another customer to serve, but when I'm done, I'll get to them straight away. The woman scoffs and goes to her child. I help A with her stuff, and after thanking me, she notifies me that the EM is gone with her kid, telling me that I dodged a bullet there. I let out a short laugh right before I realized that they had taken a bike from the row. Now, this would not be a problem otherwise, but the bike they had taken was a small 16-inch wheel bike. These bikes were sold in packages and have no tags on them, other than the ones on the package. I sigh and share this info with A, which she replies with, "I'll help you find the bike, I'm in no hurry." Her not taking a "you don't have to" as an answer, I take the offer. So we head out to the other sections of the store, and surely enough, she spots the little brat pedaling the bike in the vegetable section. I thank her, she wishes me luck, I head towards the snot stain. When I come to the kid, I politely ask him where his mom is, to which he replies by screaming. Not like panicky screaming, but just a quick high-pitched eek that he repeats every single time I try to open my mouth. At this point, I am well beyond done with the brat, and just call out, "Excuse me, could the mother of this child please come over?" The EM comes in with a walk that yells bad attitude. I try to say hello, but am interrupted by her. What is wrong? I tell her that the bike she and her child had taken along is a test item and isn't for sale, and should not be taken away from the bike shop's near proximity. I then try to tell her that if she and her son want to test the bike, it can be done on the wide aisle next to the shop where there's open space left for that exact purpose. But she interrupts me again. Why can't my son test the bike? At this point, I'm done. I tell her her child can come test the bike, but only in the area I tell them is okay, and that I will now return to the shop, taking the bike with me, whether it's with them or not. This is so that other customers have access to it and can test it out at that designated area. She then proceeds to command her child off the bike, lifts it up, and shoves it into my arms. I inhale, say thanks, and leave, disregarding the fact she just hit me in the face with one of the training wheels, which caused my tooth to cut the inner of my lower lip. Now, you would wish this was it, but it isn't. I get back to the bike row and set down the bike. After this, I start checking on the bikes, which I often did when I had spare time, as there were no more customers there, and I want to make something out of my last minutes. Surely enough, about 5 minutes before my shift would end, I hear a familiar voice going, "Ahem." When I turn back, I see the EM's disgusting expression of disgust, and her disgusting brat. "We will take the bike." "Alright, do you want it blue or green?" "Blue!" Screams the little brat like it was an emergency and the whole nation needed to know. I go fetch the package. What's this? It's the bike. We sell the smaller bikes in packages. Inside there are all the parts and tools you need, with full instructions. It's written on the sign next to the test bikes. No, you're going to build it. I have no intention to argue with this bat crap crazy lady because I know I'll get out way sooner if I just build the bike. I had done this a lot earlier for customers when I've had time for it and knew it would only take me around 7 to 8 minutes if I do it quickly. While I'm working, she starts talking down to me like how rude I am and how I should trust my customers way more and that the customer is always right. This is when A returned because she had forgotten to buy a patch set when shopping for the other stuff. Hi OP, I just came back for a patch set, just in case. I just say hi and tell her where to find it while never stopping working with the bike. The EM opens her stupid mouth. Why are you serving her while you didn't serve me earlier? Ma'am, my work wasn't interrupted. I never stopped with the bike. It's done in just a second. This is when A comes in. Excuse me, lady, but the amount of effort he is seeing to please you should be enough. You were not conversating, and he never stopped working for a second answering me. The brat kicks my shin. Hey, youngster, that's not nice. EM. Don't tell my son what to do. He's a child. I wanted to reply with, you mispronounced crap, but kept it to myself. A says the following in the calmest voice of all with a genuine looking smile. Well, you certainly don't seem to be putting much effort into raising your child. I know he can't say it, but I just did. Oh, here's the tube patch set I was looking for. You need one to patch your mouth shut? I magically hold my composure and keep on putting the bike together. EM is furious, but can't get a word out of her mouth as A thanks me again and leaves. Quickly after this, I'm done with the bike, so I just stand up, hand her the bike and the tag I had cut off the package earlier. With a customer service smile and the most fake cheery tone, I say, there you go, just go through the store's register, hand the cashier the tag, and have a nice day. She leaves, tag in hand, son riding the bike, almost hitting all the shelves. I can see them pass. I don't care, and she and the screaming brat are gone. Now that I work as an employee of the store, I see EM pretty frequently as she comes in just about every day. She is actually known at the workplace for her rude behavior and horrible child. She always looks at me down her nose and has left negative feedback about my customer service skills and rudeness. This is evident because she has talked crap about me to other employees about the same things she has written. Funny thing is, I don't work at a register or the info. I'm there to manage carts and baskets, and basically never interact with customers. A comes in pretty often as well, and we've actually become friends through some mutual friends and hang around sometimes. She makes sure to regularly ask me if EM has been giving me crap, and I'm making sure she'll get free bike repairs and maintenance. You gotta love people who just don't know how to treat other people nicely. But I do think that A is pretty interesting in this situation. We all kind of wish someone would say it, and sometimes people just take that opportunity. They're like, you know what? I can't get in trouble for this. I guess I'm gonna say it. So it was Friday morning. I had just gotten up. I was looking out this big window we had in our house, and I saw this woman, EM, and her daughter, EC, were on the edge of our property. This was at the end of March. These morel mushrooms were growing, and since we have a lot of shade, the mushrooms love our property. Anyways, so I was sent to go shoo them off, tell them to leave, etc. Anyways, I did, but EM said, I have as much of a right to be here as you do. I told her, no, my parents own this property and they sent me to run you off. EC just stood there and stared at me. EM, you aren't picking the mushrooms, so why can't I? Me, because they're on our property and we were going to pick them today anyways. EM, but you aren't picking them now, and my daughter made me come out here. EC still just stares. Me, it doesn't matter what your daughter did, you need to leave. And she just ignores me until I threaten to call the police. After I do so, she just glares at me and mutters something to her daughter, then leaves, although I think she called me a self-righteous brat. EC just stared at me the whole time. Kind of creepy, actually. So honestly, when I first read this story, I didn't know what kind of mushrooms morel mushrooms were, but I was thinking of the mushrooms that sometimes grow in yards around where I live, and they are poisonous, so no one wants them. But apparently these mushrooms are edible. Technically, that is trespassing and stealing, just because their child wanted it, I guess. This is a story from last year, but I'm still bristling about it, so I thought it was worth a retell. I tacked a few days holiday onto a work trip to Charleston and had gotten Airbnb out to the coast with husband and 2 old friends who lived in New York. They flew out to stay with us for the weekend. It was a real old friend catch-up, very boozy but very chilled out. We'd been out for lunch on the second day and heading back to the house. We all grabbed a drink and went out to the back garden deck thing to be greeted by the sight of a woman by the pool with 2 kids splashing around. As soon as she saw us, she ran over shouting and screaming at us. For a second, we all thought we were in the wrong house. Anyway, the entitled woman, I'll call her Karen, started screaming at us, saying she'd been waiting for us for 30 minutes and in the end had to break the back gate to get in so the kids could use the pool, how her kids had got really hot and that we needed to get them some drinks and snacks. Now. My friend found her voice first and asked her what the frick was going on and what was this woman doing in our pool. Karen explained/ranted that she was best friends with the owners, but didn't know their names, and they let her use the pool when there weren't guests at the house. We pointed out that we were in fact guests. Karen retaliated, saying that no one was in when she arrived, and she knew the owner would want her kids to be happy, and we need to sort out those drinks and snacks for her kids. Meanwhile, I'm calling the owner, who isn't picking up, and the argument is getting heated with my husband telling the now very angry woman to get the frick out of the backyard. She gets the kids out of the pool whilst shouting that we weren't using the pool anyway, how unhappy we were making the kids, and how we need to put the kids first. I think the language coming out of your face is upsetting them more, actually, Karen. Her parting shot as she leaves is to make fun of my accent, Brit. And then, to finish us all off, she tells us that we must be pedophiles to come away as a child-free group of 4, and that she was going to call the police on us. We were still so confused hours later. When the owner eventually called me back, it turns out the woman is a relative of the woman who ran the cleaning company they used, and has never once been invited to use the pool. Total freaking craziness. But it did give us a good holiday story, I suppose. Wow, that mother ran the entire gamut of random excuses. She just straight up panicked when they walked out that back door to the pool, because immediately she was like, oh crap, I just got caught. So first she tries to gaslight them and be like, oh man, I was waiting for you guys for so long. Maybe to convince them that she thought that they were other people or something, but then starts backpedaling when they're super confused about who she is and what she's doing. Somehow makes it their fault, of course, and that excuses why the back gate is broken. And then, after saying that she was waiting for them and it was their fault that the gate was broken now, that she was allowed to use the pool when people weren't there, assuming that she meant to say that she thought no one was there, which honestly I think was closest to the truth. Anyway, crazy story, and I think something funny to leave off this video with. So if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!